In the last video I posted, I shared tools that we use that were under $30 or so. But I figured in this video, I'll just go over like some of the more expensive tools that we have. Now with these, I don't recommend that you purchase these or that you need these or that these are the best. I just wanted to make more of a fun video of like, what are some of the more expensive things that we have? And by the way, I'll share more at the end of the video, but Lex and I released our first smoke odor removal training together. You can click the link down below for early bird pricing, but it basically covers everything that you need to know to offer smoke odor or really like any type of odor removal services in your business. Click the link down below. And look how ugly it is outside. Like this last month has been so bad with rain, like like thunderstorms, hail, like damaging winds. Like this weather has been so crazy the last month. First machine that we have here, it's the PE500. Now this one, at the time that we purchased it 2 years ago, don't quote me on this, I think it was around $3,000. And that was just for the extractor itself. That was not including the Sapphire upholstery wand. That was like an additional $500, nor was it the actual Cox reel, which is like another $400 or $300. The main reason why we purchased this one is because in our mobile unit, we were tired of like having to constantly dump out the water from the smaller extractor. And by the smaller extractor, I mean this HP60 Spyder, which is I think $1,600, because we would do a lot of interiors and it was just annoying for us to having to keep on dump their water out, refill the water, let it heat up. That's not something that we wanted to do. So the HP60 Spyder has about a 5-gallon tank, capacity tank, right? That you can either, you know, for the clean water or for the wastewater. Now this PE500 has almost a 12-gallon capacity tank. So we would have to technically do 3 dumps of here before we do 1 dump here, or, you know, roughly so. And that's a big difference. Like that's a lot of like not having to waste time dump the water. Instead of dumping it however many times throughout the day, like we might have to dump it once at the end of the day, once we do all of our jobs. Now that sounds great, but there are some setbacks to that. Now, 2 other features that this extractor has is, one, it is a 2-corded machine, meaning you need to run 1 cord for the heater and 1 cord for the pump, which means though, you need to have a bigger generator to run all that power, let alone your air compressor and anything else you need to run. So for the generator, it's this Harbor Freight or this Predator, what number is it? This 8750. And you know, Harbor Freight always has things on sale. So I think retail it's like $1,200, but we purchased it for like $1,000. So it's good that it's a lot more powerful. The suction is better, the gallon size. Another big feature is that this extractor has a PSI adjuster. So if we're working on more delicate surfaces or thinner surfaces, we're able to adjust the PSI to make sure we don't introduce as much water to that fabric material. But again, we don't actually use this one in our shop. This was for specifically mobile use. In our shop that we use to extract and shampoo, we are using the HP60 Spyder. And again, I'm not recommending anyone purchase this size unit unless it fits your business, or if you're going into like residential carpet cleaning or commercial carpet cleaning, that's something that it'll be useful for. But I would 99.9% of detailers do not need anything even close to this, because we don't even use it right now and we're at the shop. So hopefully that clears that up. But that one was about $3,000. And since we're here, I'll just touch on this one. This is the HP60 Spyder. Now we actually have 2 of them. They're roughly like $1,600, and I believe it comes with the wand. Now one of these we actually purchased used from one of our previous employees actually, and I think we got it for like a couple $100. But the other one that we have, that one we purchased retail. And the reason why we went with the HP60 Spyder versus the what's the other mighty, the 1040 I think it's called, the one below this, which is like $1,400, was primarily because the buttons were on the back of the extractor on the other model. And when we were gonna put it in our van, we didn't have to wanna reach over the extractor every single time and look for those buttons. So I forgot what other features are different, but we wanted the buttons in the front so it's easier to like turn on and use versus the back side. And I think that was like the main reason why. Next up, and as you can tell, this is like very carpet cleaning specific, because like us as detailers have it pretty easy in terms of tools, right? Like if you wanted to go do residential carpet cleaning, right? To go buy a, you know, like one tool might cost $2,500. Your truck mount can cost between $20,000 to $50,000. Like relative, like detailing tools relative to like many other industries, it's like it's not that expensive. Not that it's not expensive, but if you want to compare and really like size up the tools and products that we use versus other industries, like you can't even complain about it, you know? But don't get me wrong, things are still expensive, just not as expensive as other industries. So this is the Sapphire scientific wand. This one is fantastic because there's no water spill from this one. It always stays on the surface and you can move it forward and backwards and there's no overspill. Now the downside to this is that it's always on as far as water is always running through it. So you will go through a lot more water. But in terms of like, once you press the trigger and you lock it, you can just keep it on the surface and it can literally just keep on working. So that's very beneficial. Again, it doesn't make a mess. You know, when you extract the seat and you're pulling up on it and then all that water seeps out through the sides, you get absolutely none of that, because that's the point of this tool, is that you don't get a huge mess. So you can just clean the seats without making a huge mess all around the seat. And I believe we have two of these. The first one I think was like $600 because it has a PSI adjuster on the hose itself. And then the second one that we purchased, I think that one was closer to like $500 because it didn't have a PSI adjuster to it. Next is this AR Blue Clean 630 behind me, which we also have the Karcher 1700 there, that one's $150. And this one is, I think, $600 or $700, at least when we purchased it. Now, with this one, it doesn't come with a hose or a gun or anything. Like you just purchase the unit, so you still have to upgrade the hose, or for instance here, the hose reel, the hose, the gun, the quick disconnect. Like that's all still separate. So all in all, you might be looking at like $1,000 for that full setup. But the pressure washer itself, $600, $700. Now the cool thing about this one is that it has a PSI adjuster as well. So like, when we're cleaning maybe the engine or the door jambs, we'll decrease the pressure because you just don't need that much pressure. And then when we're working on washing the vehicle itself, then yeah, we'll turn the pressure back to, you know, a average pressure to rinse off the vehicle. Very helpful. Is it needed? Nah, not really, because again, we've had this Karcher 1700. We've had two of them in both the 104, this bigger shop, and then in the mobile van for a while. And it worked great. Again, $600 for just that, for the AR Blue Clean 630, nothing else, or $150 for that pressure washer, and then you can upgrade everything. And to get the whole setup is probably still cheaper than just buying that AR Blue Clean. Because then there's that Krenzel, it's like that $1,000 one, and it's like, what's the point of purchasing such an expensive pressure washer? Like what? You know, like you don't need these things. Like it's easy to watch videos and people hype up specific tools and products. And oh, this is the best one. And if you're gonna run a business, you should get this one. All the meanwhile, like they don't run a business, or like they've never they're used to buying the more premium fancy item. And it's like, bro, like $100 pressure washer will get the job done of what a $900 pressure washer would do. And it's like, if you're doing this as a business, you don't need all these fancy tools and products. At some point, when you get to that point, it makes sense. But like, you don't need to go, oh, I want to go spin and buy the best thing right now. You don't need to do that. And then we have this big Boi Blower Pro. I believe it's $360. This is a fantastic unit for for blow drying vehicles. I prefer it more than any cordless air blower, just because you can get very specific with this tip. Pause. The length of this, like if you turn it on, I can basically walk to the other side of the shop and it still reaches. So even when a car's a little even when a car's a little further away in the shop, like it still reaches a great length. Now again, like we never had this on a mobile unit. This was always for a shop. For the mobile unit, we'd always use the air blower just because it's easier to use a cordless air blower and not have to be tied to a cord and the generator. But again, depending where you're working, how you're working, but like these things, you know, differ all the time. Like that's a great unit, works great, but you know what also works great if you're on a budget and you don't want to spend close to $400 on a blower? This little X-Power dust blower for like $50, it'll still blow all the water from the seams, cracks, crevices, emblems. Like it still get the job done for a fraction of the price. And in the last machine, we can talk about this Ozone machine right here. Now, the Ozone machine itself is $600. And you still need to purchase other things like this little hose thing that goes into the car. You need the tripod stand, the timer, and then you do have to keep on replacing the plates. That way it can pull fresh ozone as you run the machine. But that one is $600. And then if you include, I think they have like a detail kit for like $900. But we just purchased that and then purchased everything else ourselves. Now I know a lot of people are gonna be like, oh, well, I could just do a odor bomb for like $9 and remove smoke like that. If that's what you wanna do, no qualms for me. If it works for you, it works. Fantastic. Everyone has their own way. Now there are times where like we have like maybe 2 or 3 smoke odors going on in the same week, and like there's been times where like, dang, like we probably need another ozone generator, just because like if there's two, let's just say there's just 2 smoke odor jobs going on right here, well, we can't, you know, we have to run the ozone for 2 hours, 4 hours on that one car, and then that other car is just waiting in queue to get treated with ozone. And then like if we run it there, but then the other one needs it again, we're like, oh man, like do we need to order another one? We're not. But it just, there have been times where like, dang, we really need some ozone machines in there. And I'll go ahead and end the video right there. Again, this is just to make like a fun video of some of the more expensive tools that we have. This wasn't to highlight every single tool, nor am I recommending you purchase any of these. Just want to make a fun video and see kind of what we had. Again, if you are interested in offering smoke odor removal services in your business, or any kind of odor removal, like maybe removing urine odor or something like that, click the link down below and check out the training course that Lex and I put together. Right now until Tuesday, there is a early bird pricing where you can save some money, but Lex and I break down the entire process of doing the smoke odor removal, the tools and products that you need, how to talk to your customers, how to set the proper expectations, what to do if you don't remove an odor, how to actually remove an odor if it's really bad, how to manage different conditions, our pricing, how to price door services, like everything that we've learned doing dozens and dozens and dozens of smoke odors over the last 2 years, we've distilled into this training. Click the link down below and check it out.